Hello. So we have a 2011 Tacoma, pretty good shape. Customer just brought it in. Body looks great. But wait, this is what we're working with underneath. That, my friends, is a rusty frame. And when you think about what actually costs you the most money when it comes to electrical, your frame, other parts, that's what you want to protect. So I'll show you the process. I'm going to drive it in and we'll go from there. Before we drill the holes, we follow a spray pattern. So we'll drill there, right there, there, and up top. First thing we start with is inside the hood. So we'll get in all of these holes. Make sure your hood is covered with oil. But then we also get inside here as well too. That's going to help us get inside your wheel well. We'll get inside the vehicle, inside all the latches, behind here. You can see some of the frame already rusting there, so we'll spray that. Really, we're protecting your car from the inside out, stuff you can't see. So we drill holes so we can make sure that we can get the oil inside there. And how we do that, so how we get inside the doors, we use these wands, and that will get us the entire opportunity to spray the oil all the way in. Simple as that. Alright, so this is how we get the windshield pillar. There's about 3 holes in the front, up and down. Good to go. Go again, back into the door. A lot of times in the winter, moisture will get in and so it gets trapped right here. So you see a lot of cars that have rust right on the bottom. Doing this is going to make sure that's coated and protected, repelling any of that moisture. Okay, so this is our 8-foot wand, and this is how we get into the bed of the truck. So this is going to spray the entire side from here all the way down here, and you can see it coming out right there. That's coming out here. That's how we protect you from it all the way inside it. So to get inside the wheel well, use our fogger gun to make sure that all that is coated. That will get onto your springs and anything that's kind of exposed as you're driving. A lot of salt usually is built up here. You'll see a lot of rust usually starting right underneath these guys. So first what we do is we put a lithium grease that will make sure that the holes that we created don't actually rust out, and then we plug them with factory plugs, just like that. Give it a little wipe, and that is your new plug. Well, when you come back the next year, we'll simply unplug that and do the process over again. All right, now we're done with the top of the vehicle. Now we're lifting it up, and I'll give you a quick look, and you can already see that a lot of this casing has already got a ton of surface level rust. So you can imagine this is where a lot of the salt and other road debris hit. And this is what we're actually going to be protecting along with the entire underside. So stay tuned for that. Here's just a quick look before we give it the salt eliminator, which will lock into any of the salt built up. Well, you can tell, there's a ton of rust here. Some structural stuff, right? A lot of this will be flaking off. But this is what happens, we have a ton of salt at our roads and it splashes up into your chassis. And when it's not washed off, this is what you get, right? You look at some of these things, there will be leaks now because things are rusted out, as you can see, which will cost you time and money down the road. So a little bit of maintenance goes a long way. But we'll do the salt eliminator and then we'll do the crown. This is our salt eliminator. It is a chloride wash that's built to lock into the salt. It doesn't take too much or too long, and give that a few minutes. When you rinse that off, the salt that's been built up over the winter and the spring will magically come off, giving us the cleanest possible surface to then start spraying the actual crown product. So this whole thing's been soaked with the salt eliminator. We're about to power wash that off, and that will get us ready to do the undercoating. So we've just power washed it, gotten rid of all that salt, so that white, any kind of little bit of residue that was on there before has now been removed. And you can tell by looking at it that it's just nice and clean. And then we're gonna spray the crown right underneath. All right, so we're finishing up here, the crown on top. Every nook and cranny will get an oil spray that essentially is gonna displace moisture, leaving you with a lubricant, and this will last for 1 year. There's 2 different types of hoses that we use. Everything gets sprayed except your exhaust, your brakes, and your engine. So you can rest assured that you're fully protected. Of course, no job is done until it is fully washed by us. So our goal is to bring it out as clean as you brought it in. Here is the crown wash being put on here. Always super satisfying.